All right, that's gotta go. Get this out of here. What is this even this? Get rid of this, get rid of this. All right, that's better. Uncluttered strength. All right, so we're getting the mess out of here, getting the frills out. Very basic strength exercises, kind of the main core movements. All right, and that's what we've got today. All right, so you've got 5 exercises. All right, and we're gonna do 5 rounds through that. Why 5 rounds? Doesn't that sound like a lot? Well, because the studies have shown that 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week gives some of the best results. All right, get some jumping jacks going here. So if I'm doing a set of pressing exercises, I need to try to get 10 to 20 sets to like near failure per week to get the most benefit of strength and muscle building. All right, so you go, okay, well that's more than 1 set. If we just did 3 sets, 3 different days of the week, we'd only be at 9, we would not be quite in the optimal zone. Be better than nothing though. All right, so but to get in that optimal zone, it's a little bit more. All right, a little tap back, reach up. So a little caution, a little disclaimer here is you're exercising of your own will. I cannot see you, so you need to just listen to what I say and try to do it really well. And if it's not working right, stop, talk to a doctor, do some of the other things. All right, so not all workouts are good for all people, but we try to hit a general audience with these exercises. All right, so people who are generally decent shape with some minor issues going on. All right, kick back, crisscross. So loosen up a little bit here. We're getting into allergy season, so my throat feels a little thicker than it normally does. So that'll be fun. You'll hear me do this occasionally, probably. All right, so I like to throw a little picture of me every once in a while, like a picture from my life. So here's, I was up on the scaffolding in the barn. Here's a picture of my daughters hanging out on our pole vault mats that I got from a school auction, which I was completely thrilled out. Young Jeremy, always wanted pole vault mats. Old Jeremy, well, he's not that old, now has them. All right, I stepped aside. And so that's pretty high up because I'm trying to hang a light on the peak of the barn. All right, so I'm trying to figure that out. But I took a picture while I was up there. And now the pole vault mats are gonna move outside. It's time. It's time to play outside. All right, so we'll loosen up here a little bit. We have these just a handful of exercises to do. All right, so we're gonna have the squat hold, the squat up and down. We've got the push-ups, a little Frankenstein walk right now. That's a straight leg kick. All right, we have push-ups, the band row, and V-ups. So all we need is a band for this. If you don't have a band, you have like weights, you could do a bent over row, or if you have dumbbells, you could do a bent over row with those as well. All right, so suspension trainer, the suspension row. All right, but it's a rowing action. We need to get that one in there. All right, so 1 minute each exercise. No, I wrote 3 rounds, but that's wrong. It's 5. Just add a little tongue to the top of that 3. It looks like a 5. That's what I do when I write. All right, a little squat hold. Although that seems a little bit ridiculous. Let's just stop that. Because we're gonna hit a squat hold just to begin with anyway, so might as well just make it the real one. All right, so 1 minute is gonna be on the clock. All right, and we're gonna go through this work and I'll talk you through it as we go. You let me know when you're ready, Bobby. All right, so squat hold. First, lay a good foundation here, all right? So butt is back, knees are out, chest is out. All those things are to take pressure away from our joints and put it in the muscles. All right, so if bad posture is caused by tightness, and weakness, good posture is gonna be caused by strength and flexibility. All right, so in the right places. All right, so push that butt back, weights on the heels, knees are out, chest is out, and you're sinking down in there. All right, so we're holding, towards the bottom of the squat. It doesn't have to be the absolute basement of the squat. You can flex a little bit in there, but to work the legs really well, it's tough without having too much external weights. And so what we're gonna do is, that's why we have 2 leg exercises in a row. Our legs are very endurance muscles, and so getting 2 in a row will give us a chance to really stimulate those muscles pretty good and still get close to that complete burnout, failure place in the muscles. All right, so there we go, up and down. All right, so if the squat hold didn't get you, the up and downs will. All right, if you need to, don't go quite as deep on the up and downs just to keep it going and keep the burn happening. If you can, still keep some good range of motion here. All right, so it's pretty quick tempo, but you can go slower if you need to. All right. Squeezing up so my thighs are getting some burn. My butt is getting a stretch and burn there. Especially if you think about pushing your heels down the ground, you'll get the hips to do a little bit more in there. I get a little stretch on the inside of the legs here too. Groin. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Now it's getting good. Yours might have been getting good already. But, almost there. Just a little bit more. All right, push-ups. You can do push-ups off like a countertop or something like that. Or the floor, you can do from knees or from toes. Shoulders away from the ears, heads out in front of the hands. Good quality push-up, all right? So what's a good quality push-up? Well, one, we're not diving between the hands. Shoulders are away from the ears, chest is out. The chest sticks out more at the bottom of the push-up. All right, so make sure the shoulder blades are moving to create that push-up. And that way the chest muscles are actually doing it, not just the shoulder muscles. All right, if the shoulder muscles do it on their own, we get problems. Drop it in. Go as low as you can while maintaining good posture. All right, so posture more important than the depth of the push-up. Eventually, we do want to get a deeper push-up though. So if you can do a couple, proper and low, do that, even if it's not very many. All right, so we're sitting. We're gonna loop this band around the feet here. Two options. One is just crisscross the handles and pull back. This one is a kind of easier level on this row. And I don't like the easy levels much. All right, but that can be an easy one for getting started. All right, so just crisscross the handles. But I'm gonna keep the handles in their same hands. I'm gonna reach through, grab the middle. I'm gonna get my row in that way. And now I've basically doubled, you know, the amount of pull that I have to create here. All right. Get that a little straightened out. Push the chest out, squeeze the shoulders back. So we want to get each set close to the limit of the muscles. All right. All right, just the band. We'll do VS. We're gonna lay on our back, legs are up in the air, abs in tight, and we're coming up here. If you have trouble keeping the back flat, tuck your knees in a little bit more as you're doing this. All right? Especially when you're reaching back here, make sure the abs are tight. The lower back is pressing into the ground. There's no space underneath that lower back, no space under here. All right? Reach in. Pull those abs in nice and tight. I'm trying to squeeze up with my abs, not so much just fling my arms around. I'm gonna squeeze in there, come back, squeeze in there, come back. Whew. All right, we have a minute to rest, all right? But the rest will allow each set to be maybe a little bit more vigorous, all right? So if we did these without the rest, we would be featuring a little bit more of the heart rate, which is fine, and there's some workouts that we do that in. This one we're gonna try to feature the strength a little bit more, so we need to catch our breath some, so it's not just our limiting factor is not just how much we're breathing and how much we're able to, expel carbon dioxide, but it is actually how much flexing our muscles are capable of. We want that to be the limiting factor here. So about 15 seconds, I'm gonna start standing up here. We got that another round on this. We got 5 rounds we're doing, which means I'm probably gonna lose count. but maybe Bobby will help me out too. All right, here we go. Squat hold. Here we go. So butt's back, knees are out, chest is out. trying to get the hips low and shoulders up. As you're doing this, don't squeeze your shoulders up by your ears though. All right, so we're shifting into here. Getting things set up real nice. Looks like I got about 30 seconds here. All right, holding in here. All right, getting close. Ooh, I got a little more stretch there. I felt like I drop in a little bit more. One of the benefits of holding the squat is, as you're holding a little more, you're gonna get some stretch opportunities here. Is that gonna beep? Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, it should beep soon. All right, coming down and up. Whew. All right, these up and downs, you're definitely gonna feature the quads pretty good. But make sure the knees don't come forward as you're doing that. Make sure your knees don't collapse in as you're doing that either. All right, try to power through the groin, hamstrings, glutes, and the quads. All right, these are the biggest muscles in our body. All right, so we do want to get them fired up because they do represent a large portion of our metabolism. All right, I got 15 seconds. Oh boy, yeah. We do want to reach some pretty bad fatigue because it's actually at the end where we're burning the most is when the most change happens. All right, push-ups. The biggest benefit comes from the bigger uncomfortable feeling. All right, coming down and up. Again, you can do this on countertop or some stairs if you need a level that's easier. You want to be able to do more than one or two. All right, so find an easier level that you can get some practice in. Things to watch out for: don't pop your hips up too much. If I pop my hips up a lot and then do a push-up, I'm loading up my shoulder joint too much. If you're gonna make a mistake either way, it's better if they were too low. All right? But even better is right in the middle. That failed out. That's good. Couple seconds to get ready. All right, we got the row. The row next. All right, so looping around again. I'm gonna grab that middle right away there, but you could also do that crisscross. All right, pulling back, squeezing in there. One thing I have to watch out for when I row, sometimes I let my head go forward. I gotta make sure I keep that back. All right, so the chin's tucked in a little bit. Tough to do sometimes. I see a lot of people when they push the chest out, chin comes out too. I'll try to keep that locked in. Really kind of soldier posture. Squeezing back. Squeeze it back. Last few seconds. All right, the ups, another chance at the abs. All right, so we're hitting some main movements here. All right, and who doesn't value the abs, right? People talk about wanting to do the abs all the time. I want to work on my abs, Until we start working on the abs and they're like, well, can we not do this? It's hard. Abs in tight. Lower abdominals pulling in. If you can, try to suck in your lower abdominals while doing this. All right, flatten out the area like you're pulling your stomach away from your waistband. It will make it harder, all right? But that's fine. We're not here to do the easy thing. We're here to do the beneficial thing. All right, the easy thing is turn it off and go take a nap, all right? But you're not gonna like where that puts you in the future. All right, last few seconds. All right, another rest. All right. So these exercises, we have a pushing exercise We have a pulling exercise. We've got some abs, and we've got the legs. All right, so when I'm pushing, not only am I working my chest, but one of the other exercises we sometimes do is triceps. I do work my triceps some on the push-up. All right, as I do the rows, I do get some bicep, in there as well. So as I do pulls, I'm not just working the upper back, I am working my arms a little bit there too. So these do cover generally a good amount of our body, all right? These couple exercises, all right? Now it is good sometimes to throw a little more variety in there, and definitely we have other workouts that have that. But this is uncluttered. Uncluttered, clean out your mind, all right? Get too much stuff bouncing around in there, messes you up. All right, let's just do this really well here. Let's get that squat. Here we are. Down the bottom here. Hanging out. Chest out, butt out. You almost want to imagine like your back is like a ski jump. All right, and it skis down your back, and they can jump off the tailbone a little bit. All right, so there's a little bit of that tailbone sticking out in there. We don't want to be too arched, but in my practice, most people aren't. My wife is actually probably one of the few exceptions on that. She can overarch because she does have quite a bit of flexibility there, but for the most part, people don't arch their back too far. They usually round their back too much, so that's why you really got to stick it to it. Chest out, tailbone out, to really get these hips stretching. All right, these muscles getting tight, throw a lot of backs out. All right, you want to hurt your back, get tight in these muscles. One of the best stretches to get these loosened up, right here. Right here, the squat hold. All right, so up and down, here we go. Hopefully you're burning pretty good already. If not, hopefully you join in soon. Try to keep the heels pressing in a bit as we're doing this. The heels work through the back side of the hips a little bit more. The toes work through the knees more. All right? For a lot of our clients who need mobility work, the heels is definitely key. Flexibility is going to be one of the biggest values you can get. Heels, big deal. If you can't go all the way down and you're burning bad, just do top half ones. All right? Get those muscles really burning good. All right, push-ups. All right? Let's get some more of these. Probably one of the easiest ones to fail out on. All right? Line everything up. Imagine like somebody set a bar on your back and your shoulders, your upper back, like your rib cage is touching the bar. The back of your head is touching the bar, and your tailbone is touching the bar. That bar is fairly flat across. All right? I'll try to line those things up. A lot of times that means don't drop your head so much. All right? Keep your head back, chest out. Makes the push-up harder, but so very beneficial. Burned out. This is good. Sets to failure is the gold standard there, all right? Pulling back here. Gotta adjust that a little bit. Shoulders down, chest is out. Squeezing back here. It's almost like you're trying to get a chest stretch out of this. You'll notice when I pull back, my elbows aren't going like behind me. All right, I'm getting my shoulders peeled back. That's what I'm really focusing on. If my elbows go back too far, I'm twisting my shoulder too much. All right. Nice. All right, V-ups. Abs in tight, reaching back. One reason I like the V-ups is you get some pretty good movement in the abdominals, but you can protect the back fairly well. I say fairly well because it matters how you do them. If I let my legs drop too far and I reach back too much, I get that space under my lower back. It's no good for the back. No good for the back. So, you notice my legs are up a little higher. All right. If you can, initiate that lift with the abs, not the arms. That's a lot harder to do. If I just think about leaving my hands back there, attempt to crunch with my hands back there. It's pretty good work there. All right. All right. So that was 3. Right, Bobby? Yes. That's right. That's right. 2 to go. All right. So they're pretty short rounds. I mean, they're not bad. They're good work though. They're good work though. And hopefully, you know, like right now, our legs have had some time to rest. And we're gonna go back to them. All right. After we finish the legs, our arms will have had some rest. So it's time to get back to them. And then back to the abs. So it should allow us to do some pretty decent work each time that we are doing these exercises. It should be like a decent amount of strain and effort that we can exert in these exercises. And we're not petering out too soon here. So we're gonna come on up. All right. We got the squat coming up in about now. All right, so dropping in here, pushing that butt back, squeeze those knees out, chest is out. Some good straightness in that lower back. All right, maybe I'll turn sideways a little bit here. Right in here, all right? And capture that right there. Yeah, pop that over, Bobby. Yeah, there, see that? It's a pretty straight back position is what I'm going for, all right? So trying to get things lined up. My eyes are looking maybe about 6 feet out in front of me so that my neck is kind of lined up with the rest of me. My hips are back there, dropping in. Looks like I'm riding a horse or something, right? All right, right in there. All right, so I'm not driving the knees forward. I'm not rounding in there. You can almost see the ski jump, you know, off that lower back there. All right, you see that position there. The ski jump off my booty right there. It's great. All right, up and down. Up and down here. All right, digging those heels in. Getting those legs going good. Now these ones definitely are going to be the ones that get the heart rate up pretty good, all right? Because they are large muscle groups. You do get some huffing and puffing, especially on legs here. Push that butt back. Try to stay on the heels. Keep that chest out. Oh, it's burning good. Oh, hang in there, Jeremy, come on. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, push-ups. The push-up land. Again, see if we can get ourselves to a good failure point, but let's push the chest out really big. We'll fail sooner with that chest sticking out, but we'll keep our shoulders happier for longer. So at the bottom, push that chest out so much that it feels like if it was raining, there'd be a pond forming in your upper back. Chest is out. I'm getting close. Shoulders away from the ears, chest is out. Yep. Know when to stop is an important one. All right. All right, loop it over. Pulling back here. All Chest is out. Now, if you're having trouble getting the squeeze back to happen, I sometimes recommend people do just the back half. So you don't just come all the way out. You just think about sticking your chest out each time to try to get the shoulder blades featured more. All right? This is an important investment in your work there, all right? The better the shoulder blades go down and back, the better the neck, lower back, and shoulders do. Now, the taller we stand, the younger we look. I went to a conference one time and I talked to one guy that was there. Thought he was like 65. I was like an older guy my height. He had really good posture. I said, hey, how old are you? He said, 81. All right? 81, he's standing tall. All right? He looked a lot younger because he had good posture. All right, let's try these V-ups here. Abs are in tight. Sometimes we equate age with a bigger midsection. So the larger your midsection is, sometimes the older you look. All right? But also how slouched you are starts to give away your age. If you don't like that idea, you can work on both. It's possible. Now, sometimes we equate age with wrinkles. I got nothing on that, all right? I have no idea. All right, that's not my specialty. I think wrinkles are a gift from God. Abs in tight. Hard pull in. Give your case some character. Oof. All right, here's my round 4. One more round to go. One more round to go. All right. It's actually kind of funny about wrinkles. This is like a side topic, I guess, but I have a lot of video. You know, I was like 26 years old when I started tall trainer here, so it was I have lots of video, like starting off trying to like spread the word and things like that. And I look at those videos now, you know, Jeremy 20 years ago, and I'm like, what's wrong with his face? What's wrong with his face? It looks like completely expressionless. All right, it's just got, is he ever happy? How can you tell if he's ever happy? There's no lines to show that he would have any happiness. It's just boring porcelain looking skin. Like a baby doll face, you know? Weird. Embrace the wrinkles. All right, get down nice and low. Chest out, butt out. Bobby's laughing over there, but he doesn't even know half of it yet. He's probably got a weird porcelain face right now. I'm used to it though. I'm used to his porcelain face. All right, push that butt back, squeeze the knees out, chest out, sinking down in there. Can't wait till we can see him. His smile lines a little more though. That'll be nice. Yeah, 10 more years, Bobby. We'll get it. We'll get you there. All right, push that butt back, squeeze the knees out, chest is out, sinking down in there. If you wonder who Bobby is, I mean, there's somebody who has to make this happen, right? Otherwise, it's just me sitting in a room exercising. Somebody's got to get the timer going and move the cameras around. It's not AI. It's real intelligence. All right, up and down. Here we go. All right, getting cooking a bit here, all right? So hopefully that squat hold already burned, all right? Squat holds have gotten a little bit easier for me, so that's definitely helpful to make sure I have this second exercise. If you're like burning out, stand up for a second, pause, and then try some more, all right? We want to get to that place where like, I really can't stand anymore, because that's where the muscles do take on more change. Let's do it. Almost there. Final onslaught for the legs, let's do it. Let's make them work. Push-ups. An easy failure. All right, here we go. Hands are fairly wide when doing push-ups too. That will help you open the chest up as you're coming down. If you go too narrow, you're likely just to scrunch up into your neck a lot more. Trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears, like you're trying to slide your shoulder blades into your back pockets. All right, and puff the chest out. I'm doing a little extra thinking about my chest, trying to see if I can get it. Really feeling this. Oh boy, I felt that. All right, row. Loop it. Grab it. Pulling back. Some mobility. Which maybe stands for more ability. Mobility. Here we go. Mobile. Or mobile, but that's different. That's in Alabama. Push the chest out, squeeze those shoulders back. Big focus, big stretch across your chest. Whew. V-ups. Coming home, here we go. Abs in tight. When I really want to crank on V-ups, I almost imagine when I reach back that somebody steps on my stomach. So I tighten right at the bottom. Every time I go back, I tighten because somebody's about to step on me. And it gets you a lot more effort in that movement. We're getting there. About 15 seconds. Almost there. Hold it. Oh, nice. Nice. Stay right where we are. All right. No need to go anywhere. We're going right into stretches. Don't run off and do something unless you just want to feel old with your crinkly face. All right, timer's going for some stretch here. We're doing this knee pull in to start off with. All right, lay it down nice and flat. All right, so you can see a picture of all the stretches here. We're doing the knee pull in, ankle over the knee. All right, we're gonna stand up and do triceps. We're gonna do hamstring, quad, hip flexor, calf, and chest. All right, so we're gonna get to those. Just 30 seconds each, which is not enough, actually. But if you skip this, that's a whole lot less. All right, other side. One of the best things we can do every day is stretch. At the very minimum, stretch after you work out. All right, use it as a warm-up for a really good stretch. All right, so we got the other leg now, pulling that in. Head's down, chest is out, bottom foot's pressing away. Got some good flexing going on here. All right. All right, cross the ankle over the knee. Reach through, grab that bottom leg, pull it towards you there. Breathe a little bit. Take a deep breath. Deep breathing is less stressful breathing. All right, so sometimes we're getting stressed out and we can't do anything about the things that are stressing us out, but we might be able to contradict the signal in our body. All right, reach through, switch legs, cross ankle over the knee, by affecting what our body is physically doing. All right, we can't deal with the emotional state maybe, but maybe we can change what it physically does so that it reflects a different emotional state, all right, to us from the inside. And breathing Deeper and slower tells your body everything's all right. Everything's fine. Everything's gonna be good. All right, so let's get that hamstring stretch here. Tipping over. Stick that chest out, stick that butt out. Stretching in here, fairly straight with this leg. Now, a lot of people will bend their back on this. Spend a lot of effort keeping your back straight here. All right, so the chest sticks out, the tailbone sticks out, just like in that squat position. Really have that back straight. That's gonna make that hamstring really stretch. All right, other side. Now, if you wanna get a little bit more, you can imagine there's a little dial on your hips and you're turning the dial, not bending your back, but turning the dial of the hips to go into that stretch. And you'll feel, again, the hamstring go more. That hamstring is attached to the sit bones, so as you bring those sit bones and tailbone out, you'll feel that back of the leg more. All right, so that's another way to get it. All right, so all different ways to try to get the same effect here. All right, so we're doing a little reach back here. Let's set the hips, tuck the hips underneath, and then press that heel back behind you to stretch out the hip flexor here. All right. Whew. All right, so good basic strength. So I got my chest, I got my back, I got my arms, I got all around and through here. I got my core, I got my lower back, my upper back, my legs. You know, I got all around there. All right, other side. All right, set the hips first, tip that tailbone up towards you, and press that heel back behind you. All right, so I'm pushing this hip forward, tighten the butt cheek a little bit to drive that forward a little bit. All right, so you get this position set up really nice here. All right, groovy angle. Get the angle, super awesome. All right, what is the next one? It's the quad. Quad, so grab a hold of the ankle, point that knee down, abs in tight. And again, this quad stretch. I might see if I could pop that verse. You know, try that, Bobby? I'm gonna try to do that while you're doing the quad stretch. I'll tell you when to switch legs there too. All right? So it says, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Go ahead and switch sides. All right, and that's in Hebrews 12:1. All right, and so, you know, definitely this is certainly about living out your Christian faith. You know, but when I thought about decluttered strength training, you know, I thought about how our lives get cluttered and we get some less important things that distract us from things way more important. And our spiritual health, you know, definitely is a very important one. Let's get that calf stretch. Press that heel back behind, bend that front knee, press that heel into it. So exercise comes with lots of clutter. There's lots of confusing things. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? You know, and life and our spiritual walk definitely has lots of clutter in it too. All right? And I think for all these things, you have to just keep pulling yourself back to the foundational principles. All right? Other side. Tried and true. Time-tested, God-given, you know, principles. So we drop that sin for sure. Most of us want to do that. You know, but the other things entangle us. You know, they distract us. You know, so if we can throw off those things and just drop them from our lives, you know, as we will have a much better time. All right, so let's do that chest stretch. All right, hand about head height, shoulders down, chest out, turning away from it. Oh, I skipped tricep. You know what? We'll get that after chest. It'll be a strange finish. It'll be good. Don't want to miss triceps. All right, so get a nice stretch across there. Push the chest out while you're doing this. If you don't push the chest out, you're going to feel it you're going down your arm more. If you're going down your arm, you're not stretching the right thing. All right. Turn. Open. Shoulders down, chest is out, rib cage sticks out there. Get that going there. You know, so these little end of workout thoughts are nice, but it's good if we have something to think about. So maybe you should take a moment and sit down with a piece of paper and say, what does distract me? What's getting in the way? And in the way of what? What is my more primary goals? You know, and maybe take some of the time to do some of that. All right, so I'm gonna reach back, pat myself on the back here, point that up in the air, stretching out my tricep here. All right. The back of the arm. All right, opening up that armpit, like those shirt unsure commercials where people don't want to open their armpit because they had a big wet stain there. All right, open that armpit. All right, be proud of your wet stain. All right, press that open. Which I could go on a little rant about antiperspirants. All right, I'm not gonna right now, but if you block something that God created, you think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Just saying. All right, you can deodorize, that's fine. God did create your stink too, but maybe just cover that up. But I think perspiration does not need to be blocked, and I'm worried about the lymphatic system of our body when we stop a major detoxifying element. All right, so consider your deodorant and what that's doing for you or to you. All right, so rant done. All right, so let me finish off with a quick prayer. God, thank you for the opportunity we have, to do this day well. Thank you that we got to exercise. Thank you that some of these people joined me. I can't name you, but I still care about you guys. And so help us to be the healthy people that create more healthy people around us. All right, help us to dump the distractions and focus in on what's actually important, in life. And that probably isn't getting the last dandelion out of the yard. Help us to really find what's truly important and invest more time in those things. And in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen. All right, have fun, be safe. God